Well, today the polls are just beginning to open in the battleground state of Arizona, where voters are casting their ballots in multiple key primary elections. And CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small is here to break down which races to watch. So, Taurean, we know you're closely tracking the gubernatorial contest in Arizona. So break down that one as well as some of the other key races that are happening today.
Yeah, I think this is really a race that Republicans are targeting because they feel that the incumbent Democratic governor is very vulnerable. We're seeing two congressmen really go at it for this one. That's Representative Andy Biggs and Representative David Schweikert, who comes from the 1st Congressional District. Biggs, though, makes this race interesting. He's a former House Freedom Caucus leader. So if he goes up against the current incumbent, that's essentially a case that Democrats can make, saying that there's this far-right figure going up against a moderate or centrist Democrat. But I think the other race that'll be interesting is the seat that Schweikert is vacating, that 1st Congressional District. It can shape up to be a very purple one, and he just narrowly won his re-election bid last time. The Democrats that we see in that one are also ones who ran for it before. I think a name that stood out to me was Representative or Dr. Amash Shah. He had unsuccessfully challenged for that seat before. The Republican primary, though, we see some really interesting characters in there, like Jay Feely, who was an NFL kicker and a commentator, and he received the backing of President Trump. So this is a race that could shape up to be a celebrity face-off with a businessman who has his feet in politics before, which is, I think, incumbent or reminiscent to Donald Trump's previous picks in previous races.
So in other major news, yesterday, Lindsey Graham's sister, did you see this? She announced that she is officially running for a full term to replace him in the Senate. If you didn't see it, we got it for you. Watch.
I'm in. I can't see it any other way. I just can't. I've thought and I've prayed, and he's worked so hard for so long. I can't just let that die. I've got to step in and carry on his legacy.
Talk about the audacity of hope. Never, ever served in Congress, have done nothing whatsoever to actually win that seat. And yet she has decided that she is going to run. President has endorsed her. But I have seen, Taurean, that a lot of Republicans, including some very vocal supporters of President Trump, are a little upset about this just because the United States Senate is not like a Nepo. We have to come up with a word. Nepo something. What? No, you think Kelly's like, maybe it is.
There's a lot of
maybe
people
it is.
I was going to say, too, yeah, I think there are a lot of
the Kennedys
names.
would like a word.
Exactly. But I think that's also
that's
what's curious about this, because she has that strong name ID being a Graham. There's a lot of voters who would undoubtedly look at this ticket and say, I want to support the legacy of the Graham name, which is why she's picking up momentum. The endorsement of Donald Trump also helps quite a bit, but we know that there are a number of other people still vying for that seat, like Representatives Ralph Norman, Russell Fry. Norman's what's interesting, though, he previously ran for governor unsuccessfully, so he was exiting Congress, which is why he decided to rejoin this race. One name that was not on this graphic, and it's because she is no longer interested in running, is Representative Nancy Mace. She said pretty bluntly that she's not running. I think we have that sound. Let's take a listen.
I want to be straight with you. I'm not running for the U.S. Senate, not because I'm backing down from a fight, but because the one I'm already in matters right now.
And I think part of the reason why she's also not running is because she's not in the best of graces of President Trump. She led the charge for the release of the Epstein files, which, as we know, in the aftermath of that was something that didn't sit well with the president. She unsuccessfully ran for governor as well, finished quite low. So she, at that point, said that once she finishes up her term now, would be going into private life. This was enticing enough for her to make a couple of teases on social media about it, but ultimately, though, especially with the president's endorsement going to Graham, she decided that she's just not going to step in this.
All right, Taurean, appreciate the breakdown.